Welcome, happy Sunday or Saturday, depending on where you are. Sorry, I am 1, late, and 2, this is a bit of an interesting time because I had to postpone last night's video because we had unexpected visitors. So I thought I might just make it today instead because I didn't want to be too rushed and kicking people out the door. So I'm here live again today. Well, not again, but instead of. Mind you, you guys have probably seen a lot of me because I was live all of last week. I won't lie, I was a bit tired after that, but it was fun. It was fun to use the celebration products while we saw out their lifespan, and now celebration is over. Hey Sue, how are you? So if you're watching me for the first time, my name's Kayla and I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator from Tasmania in Australia. Hey Leanne, long time no talk. I've just been on the phone to Leanne. I was like, I've got like 8 minutes till I go live and my phone wasn't even set up to a video at my desk. I quickly went and made myself a coffee in my Starbucks cup. This is as close to I get as Starbucks here in Tasmania. I have to drink it out of the Starbucks mug. I know Starbucks is not actually all that great, but it's better than what we have here as options. So anyway, I don't think I must have gone live on Facebook because I can see Leanne's comment, but my screen is showing up something weird and has Facebook blacked out. So I'm not 100% sure what's going on there, but I must be live. Technology, fun, not really, but anyway, I think I'm there. If you can see me on Facebook, say hello and I will keep on going. So today I thought celebration's over, no more celebration. So I thought I might get out something else. And I had this kit sitting on my floor. So I'm going to work with that today. I'm not going to make, well, I might make one of the kit projects if I have time, but I'm going to do something a little bit different. So first of all, I just took a big sip of coffee and now I can't talk. Is I do want to share, well, first of all, happy March actually, but we don't, and the first thing I wanted to talk about was that I don't have a host code for March. I've taken it down off my website, and that is because March is going to be the transition into a new program for Stampin Rewards at Stampin Up. So I'm going to bring it up on my screen. It's all still a learning process. So for those that are familiar with Stampin Up, you will know that there was a host program where you spent a certain amount of dollars and you would get a certain amount back in host rewards, or you could host a party at your home and there would be one person that's a host and they receive what was known as host rewards. And here in Australia, if the order went over $750, you get a half price item and you get a percentage of sales back to spend. Well, things are moving forward and the whole way people shop is changing. So we're actually changing that up. So usually I would have a host code for the month. People would enter that. When the collective orders went over a certain amount, I would use that money to give back gifts to those that ordered with me. Well, now it's changing. There's no host code, which is probably a good thing in a way because a lot of people didn't know where to enter the host code, or I'd have to go back and add a host code and I'd have to get Stampin' Up themselves to do that. So that is changing. Now everyone is going to earn rewards on every single shop if it's above $35. That's as simple to put it that way. It's kind of like when you shop at Woolworths or Coles or wherever has a loyalty reward system, and you're going to earn points as you shop. So then you will need to go back and spend them by a certain date. I'm pretty sure they expire after a year. So if you order in May and earn rewards on that order, they will need to be spent by the following May. So this is all my understanding at the moment. It's all still a new program that we're learning. So I do have a little brochure. I've got a picture of it there on the screen, but I will pop that up on my page as well so you can understand that. There is also a big change in the sense that you will have to have your own online account. So signing up, the best way to put it is that we don't want to have your payment details because, you know, it's better to have that privacy on your own. We don't want to be taking your credit card details or your payment information. It's better that you submit that yourself. So even if you want me to place an order for you, this still hasn't come into play until the 20th of March. So it's still a learning process for me as well. but I will have to send you a link to pay. So all the payment is done on the customer's end, and that's just going to make it better for everyone, and it also makes it a lot more secure as well. So I still will be giving a handmade card and a free tutorial with your orders, and usually I pop some kind of very small gift in as well when you order with me, but you won't need to enter a host code. So you're going to be earning your own dollar rewards when you shop that you can spend on something that you want for yourself. So I hope that made sense. It's a very brief explanation. I will put more information as I have it, and I will put a copy of this flyer both for my email newsletter list as well as on my page. If you're not a member of my newsletter list, it should be in a video description of how to join my newsletter. That's where I post all the important updates, but other than that, I've put it in the comments so you can join my newsletter there. Okay, so I am going to just talk briefly. Let me think here. Online exclusives. These are the new products. So we don't have, what am I saying? This is going to be happening on March the 4th. So on March the 4th, all those online exclusives that you probably have seen sneak peeks of online will be hitting the online store. And you can purchase those as of the 4th of March, okay? I've shared sneak peeks of them, and I use the painted stripes on those fruit cards that I made on Friday. They were a lot of fun to make. I did use that little sneak peek on there. So they are coming the 4th of March, only, what is it now, the 2nd? So only a couple of days away. Okay, so heading back to my desk now, I'm going to share with you this kit. This is the Heirloom Arrangements Kit. It did come out in February. We will be getting 2 more kits on the 4th of March as well, but this is definitely still available. And I'll share with you, hopefully at the end, if I can, I'll share with you where you can see all the online kits and which ones are available. So I have already opened this kit, but I will show you a little bit of what's inside. So this is one of our stamping kits. So some of the kits come with stamps and some of them don't. This one does, and I've got some mounted up. So this is not the only stamps, but I will show you those because there's a picture at the bottom. It does come with an acrylic block. So you could buy this kit if you're an absolute beginner or you want to gift it to someone that hasn't stamped before. This kit has everything in the box. So it's even got the little mini ink pad, which I, to be honest, used to just give these away because I have the big size ink pads, but they're actually really handy, and I am going to use this on today's project. So inside here, you're going to get some card bases. I think there's a couple of designs here. So we've got, I think they're the 4 designs. So we've got this one here. These are letter-sized cards, by the way. So they're 5.5 by 4.25. Pretty sure that's what you say. So these have their own envelopes. Hey, Robin, how are you? Robin was showing me some pretty pictures of her craft room the other day. They're very cool. So they also come with matching envelopes. So we've got a couple, no, hold on. So they have patterned insides. How cool is that? If you don't want to use the envelopes and you want to make alternatives, these are cool to pull apart as well. You can just release that adhesive and use the pattern inside. And then we'll get to the other bits and pieces. I've pulled some of these out because I'm going to be using them, but there's a sheet of these just white labels. And then these are seriously cute. These are vellum die cuts. And then we've got a few of these. I'm going to be using one of these on the project today. And we've got these die cuts. I haven't even looked at the cards that you're supposed to make, actually, to be honest. I just went rogue. And then we've got these ones. I love the sunflowers. They're pretty. There's a beautiful big sunflower field near me that opens up for the public, and I've been wanting to go. I haven't been yet. This one's got some butterflies. They're really pretty, and I'll be using the butterflies on today's project. And then there's a whole sheet full of flowers. Now, these will, because they're die cuts, they will fall out. It's probably best even if you want to pull them all out. Okay, then there's a couple more tags here. And then I'm just going to tip this upside down. You do get the sheet of chipboard, which you can see I've been stamping on. And then this is the info sheet. So this has got a picture of all the cards that you can make. But as you can see, what I'm going to do is make my own project. So I'm not going to use the cards that they've suggested. If I have time, I might make some of them at the end. But these kits come with all the information with how to make these cards. It tells you how to stamp, where to stamp, and which pieces to use. Really cool. It's also got a ruler on the side with metric and imperial measurements so that you can measure out bits that you might need to measure out. So I believe it creates 8 cards. So then on the back here, you've got a couple of QR codes. So you can scan these QR codes where you can watch instructions of how to put this kit together. Hey, Dorothy from Minnesota, how are you? You can also scan this QR code to give you the beginner basics of stamping, where they'll show you how to ink a stamp, how to put together a basic card, things like that. The other cool thing about this is it will include the coordinating Stampin' Up colours that have been used in this kit. So you can pull in bits from your own stash that will coordinate. Now, I do have a change that happened recently as they started putting these little sheets in, and these indicate what stamps have come with the kit. So as you can see, this kit comes in multiple languages. We've got French and is it Dutch or German or something? And then anyway, so this is the English version, and what you can do is cut that and you can keep it with your little stamp so you can see a bit better about what's in that stamp. You could pop it in a stamp case or a little pocket or something like that. I'm actually thinking I might pop them in. I've got these little, I think they're passport holders, I'm pretty sure. I have a whole heap, but I've got these. So I might even pop just that little piece there with the stamp and pop them in those so that they are nicely stored, because I do like to keep these. They're very useful. So I'm going to pop these back in the box. These boxes are also great to use for postage, so you can flatten them down and keep them. There's a rogue little die cut. So the card that we're going to make, and I've got my little pieces, I'm going to use some of that twisted gold thread as well. And if you're new to my videos, I do have a free PDF for how to make the card we're making today. And I always share my PDFs on my blog, and you can get those after I've gone live, although it will be up there now. So I'll share the link at the end. Okay, so the card we're going to make today is this card here. Now, Cajun Craze is not a colour I gravitate towards, but for some reason I was really feeling it for this card, and I wanted to make this double gatefold. So this card opens like this, and you can see that inside. So I didn't use any of the card bases or envelopes, but I did use the components and the stamps to create this card. So all I had to do was bring in a piece of Cajun Craze and I could create a card with those kit pieces. So it's really easy card to make, really fun. And I am going to show you how I've made it. So I've got all my bits and bobs to the side. I am so disorganized because I was going to go live last night, had everything organized, and last minute change. So I had the stuff on the desk and I put it down on the floor to do today, which I'm lucky that I have well-behaved dogs because they didn't touch it when it was on the floor. Okay, so I've got a sheet of Cajun Craze. Now, I'm going to just share the measurements on the trimmer with you so that you know. I did a little prototype, what was this, Orchid Oasis. I keep all my retiring in-coloured or retired in-colour cardstock to do up little templates for fun folds. I find that easiest for me, and then I'm not using current cardstock, but I then scribble all my measurements on top. Hey, Kerry, how are you? So I do have the measurements in both metric and imperial for this fold. Okay, so this is a full A4 sheet, and what I have done is I've cut, so we're actually going to cut a little bit off the width. I wonder if I can zoom out just a tiny bit so you can see my whole trimmer. Okay, so this is the A4 sheet, and I'm going to cut a little bit off. So what I have done is I've cut it to the width of the card. So this is our standard size card, so I've cut it to 14.8. Now in imperial, you'll want to cut it to 5.5, so the same height as your normal card. Now, pulling out the arm, this bit is only for the metric cards. You want to cut this down to 29. So the height of the A4 cardstock is 29.7, which can be quite an odd measurement to work with. So I've just cut it down to 29. For imperial, you want to keep it at 11. Okay. So now we're going to make our score marks. So our first score that we want to do, I'm just going to make sure I'm saying the right thing here, is at 4 centimeters. So we want to line it up at 4 centimeters. If you're using Imperial, you'll want to line it up at 1 1/4. So we're just going to make a score there. Now, to do the correct scoring, or not correct, but to get a nice score, what I'm going to do is now flip that card over. And I'm going to score it at 9.2, or if you want to be exactly precise, it's 9.25. Okay, so I've got the 2 scores on opposite sides of the cardstock. Now what I'm going to do is flip it over again, but from the other end. So I've got my score lines here. I want to score from this end now. So I'm going to come in and score at 4. Now, I don't know if I just quoted the Imperial measurement. So that was 4, and then our second score is 9.25 or 3 3/8. So I'm going to go in at 9.25, or it's 3 3/8. So they are our scores, okay? So we should have 4. It's probably a bit hard to see, but we should have 4 score marks there. So let's move this trimmer now. And then I'm going to bring in my bone folder. What I want to do now is bring this in and fold that inwards, give that a reinforce with my bone folder. And then this piece here, we're going to fold back. So we should have something that looks like this, okay? Now you want to make sure that these are really nicely scored so that they sit nicely, okay? Then we're going to do the same on this side. So we're folding this bit inwards, and then we're going to fold this one back. So we should have something that looks like this. Thanks, Sue. I do try and include all the Imperial if I can. That way you can follow along no matter where you are in the world. Now, I don't know why I have got that crooked. I think this one's crooked. Let me fix. Okay. Or it might be the cardstock that's crooked. Let's have a look here. I can fix it along with you or cut another piece. It doesn't seem to be sitting exactly correct. The measurements are right, but the execution is wrong. Just going to see if I can straighten it up. It's only a tiny bit off, but I'm quite precise. So I'm just going to get another piece. Okay, I've got tons of Cajun craze because it's quite often neglected in my craft room. So I'm just going to go 14.8. I'll make sure that's buttered right up against the top. And I'm going to go 4. Flip it over. 9.2. So you'll see now that I'm doing this quickly how easy this card is. It's not too hard at all. And bringing in your own cardstock as well to make additional cards, you will get more out of your kit because you're just adding a little bit of extra cardstock. Use the colours that show on the kit instructions. Now that looks a bit better, although why do I have... Oh, do you know what I did with that one? I didn't cut it down to 29. I'm like, why is that gap so big? My goodness, I'm going to have some spare Cajun Craze cardstock here. I'll have to start making more on stage swaps, Leanne, with Cajun Craze. Okay, try that again. 3rd time lucky, how about? So I'm going to cut that to 14.8, but we want to go and cut the length to 29. So I don't know why that first one was just a little bit crooked. I'm not quite sure why. So 4. Hi, Marsha. Thank you very much. So 9.2. 4. Well, it's 1 1/4 or 3 3/8 for using Imperial. Okay, let's try that out. I dropped my bone folder on the dog. But, you know, he's the one that sits underneath my craft desk, so it's an occupational hazard. Okay, this is looking much straighter. So that first one was just a bit crooked. And the second one, I didn't cut it down to 21. So if you're using Imperial, you don't have to cut it down. Right, that is looking better. Now I've got pieces of cardstock here that I'm going to use. So I want to add some additional layers. That's okay, Verity. I've only just started, so I've made the base. To be honest, you saw if the beginning shows me cutting it wrong. Okay, so I've got 2 layers Occasion Craze. So I'm doing tone on tone, but I'm going to stamp these first. So these layers are cut just a bit smaller than this piece. So they'll be 3.8 by 14.6 or 1 1/8 by 5 3/8. Now that will all be on the PDF as well. So I'm going to take in a little mat. This is my old Stamparatus foam mat. I'm just protecting my desk. Now I'm going to bring in some Cajun Craze ink. Hey Nicole, I think I probably already said that. I'm going a bit all over the place today. I need more coffee. Okay, so I'm going to do this. Now my ink pad, I don't know if you can see, but my Cajun Craze looks glittery and I don't know why. I might need to invest in a new one. It's probably going glittery because it needs to entertain itself because I don't use it. Okay, so I'm just adding a little bit of stamping. So this is a really cute just texture stamp. It's sort of like a crisscross design. So I'm just adding a few. I might add one up here as well. Just that I've stamped it a few times over the background. Now I'm going to take this gorgeous butterfly stamp that comes with the kit. I love the butterfly. It's very cute. I'm going to stamp that a few times over these pieces. So it doesn't matter too much about your stamping. It can be really random. I'm also going to use one of the sentiments. This says, I feel lucky to have you. And I'm going to stamp this as sort of an element over my background. So I'm not being too particular. I'm stamping it off the sides because it doesn't need to be legible words. It's just a decoration. Okay, so I've done my stamping. Now I want to add a little bit of spritzing. So I'm going to take my Cajun Craze blend and I'm just going to add a little bit of spritzing over my side there. Now, I don't know whether to bother cleaning that. I'm probably going to have to clean it with alcohol spray afterwards. Now, I want to add these to my card, the front flaps now. I am going to distress this top left or top right corner, sorry. So I'm just going to get my bone folder and rub that back and forth a little bit. And then I'm using my thumb to roll it back. Now I can come in and separate the fibres a little bit. And you reveal that inner core of the cardstock. So I just want to fluff it up. And then what I'm going to do is actually add some dimensionals. And check it out. If you've been watching my videos last week, I said I had no white dimensionals. Well, I forgot they have them in kits, and I've got tons of kits. So I could have gone through my kits and got some, but I didn't think about that. Okay, so I'm going to add in a few dimensionals. That's probably a little bit overkill. You don't really need to add that many. Do I need another butterfly stamp? Silly question. Of course I do. I agree, Nicole. You definitely need another butterfly stamp. Hey, I can't talk. I've got the sketch, what is it? Sketch butterflies and beautiful butterflies. So Stampin' Up currently have 2 butterfly sets. I have them just here. So you can get both this one and this one. But I agree, you need them both. You need them both and you need this kit. Okay, so I'm going to stick this just centered on that front piece. You could add this flat. You don't have to add dimension. Channeling my inner Bruno. Yeah, it must be. Now, I'm not going to distress the corner on this one. I'm just going to add it on flat. I think it's because I'm running out of dimensions, so I thought I just needed to use more. Luckily, my order of, I ordered 13 packets, is sitting in Melbourne. You can see it there, so it shouldn't be too far. I've noticed that my shipping of Stampin' Up orders has actually been coming quite quick lately. I feel like it's either really slow or really quick. But at the moment, I'm happy because it's channeling its fast speed. Okay, so let's stick this one down there. Now I'm going to do a couple of layers that are going to go on the inside here to these flaps. Hey Sue, hope you enjoy on stage. Looking forward with all the swaps you receive. Yeah, are you going, Sue, on stage? So I'm going to take these two pieces here. They're slightly larger, so they'll need to be cut to 4.8 by 14.6 or 2 inches by 5 3/8. Now what I'm going to do is take my little pad that came with the kit. So I neglect these. I don't use them near enough, but what I like them for is their size. So I actually want to take this and really I don't have to be careful, but it's more of a drier pad because I think this is like the old dye ink pads. It's not like the foam that we have now. So what you do is you get this really distressed, funky look. So I'm just going to run that down. I'm actually thinking for traveling crafting, I might you can buy these uninked, these stamping spots, and it might be good to ink up a few and take them with me so that I've got all the colours with me. So that is my 2 pieces. Now I apologise if you can hear my son. He's gaming in the other room and he doesn't know what the word quiet means. So now I'm going to add glue. I'm not adding dimensionals to this piece. And I'm just going to stick this inside there. So that you just get a hint of something a bit extra. Oh no, sorry, so many people missed out. I'm thinking, I think Brisbane sold out the fastest. It was so crazy. Okay, so then I'll have to share lots of content on my page, as much as I'm allowed to share. I don't know, I can't decide. I've got orange mango mineral water or coffee, and I'm drinking them both at the same time. It's a true hot and cold experience. Okay, so now what we want to do is cut out an arch. So these are the Everyday Arches dies. These are fantastic and a great basic to have. They're very, very cool. They've got a beautiful stitched edge. And I have used the the 4th smallest one, and I've included the dimensions of that in the PDF. So I'm going to add that onto my front to create my gatefold. But I'm going to add a little bit of inking first. So I'm going to take my crumb cake ink pad and a blending brush, and I'm just going to go around the edge lightly to add a bit of extra. I suppose it's more like a vintage look. So this kit sort of has that old style, well, it's called Heirloom Arrangements, but it's got a bit of a vintage look. So I'm going to add a bit of inking to the edge. Arches always add elegance, I agree. So then I'm going to add a little bit of stamping actually. So I've got Cajun Craze still on my stamp. So I'm just going to take my chamois and give that a wipe, so I don't have so much of that on there. And then I'm going to take, it's hiding on me, it's probably right in front of me. Oh no, I put it over here. Hey Nicole, I've got lots of Nicoles and lots of Sues watching. It's all right, I have a few others. I've got Verity, Marsha, Leanne. Okay, so I'm inking that up in crumb cake, and this is not going to be seen too much, but I just want to add some butterflies. How cute are those? Okay. Now what we can do is we can add this, we can either add it to our card now, or we can embellish it and add it, but I think I might add it to my card now. So I'll take those dimensionals again. Now I only want to add dimensionals to the right-hand side. Otherwise, it's going to affect our card opening and closing. So just going to add a few to the right-hand side. I've got nowhere to put my legs at the moment because Thor is sitting underneath the desk and he's right underneath my legs. Okay, so that one there is now dimensional, but it's only stuck to that right-hand side. So if I flip that over, you can't see any dimensionals. Now, I feel like I want to add some Wink of Stella before we go any further. I feel like I need my sparkle on my base bit. Now let's bring in our embellishments so we can start putting those together. I have pulled these from the die cuts, so if you missed the start, we're using the Heirloom Arrangements Kit, which comes with all these pieces. So I've got my flagged label, and I've got my little, what are these called? Are they like, I'm forgetting the name of them. And there's this beautiful vellum die cut, and I've got 2 butterflies, and then I have a little white label which I'm going to use for the sentiment. So I'll do the sentiment in just a minute, but let's start with this. I want to cut a little bit off my label, so I'm going to grab my guillotine. I love it how I was listening to Ralph Tyndall. If you haven't watched him, he's really cool. He does a lot of ASMR card videos, but I was watching him this morning, and he's from Texas, I think, and they say guillotine, and I just think sometimes I love it how they pronounce words. Guillotine and aluminum. Aluminum, I think that's what they say. Now, for this one, I actually want to take the ends of this one and distress them a little bit. I probably have, if people from Texas are watching, I'm not making fun of you really. I just like how you say it. It's very different to how we say things. Maybe I'll get this set with my celebration credit. You could do that, Nicole. That'd be awesome. So celebrations just ended, and if you're a demonstrator, you could earn rewards depending on how many sales you had or orders you placed yourself, and whether you added team members. So they will be available to spend from the 12th. They look like bluebells. Well, there you go. So I separated the cardstock a little bit on the ends here, and I'm just going to distress them a little bit either side because I thought it looked a bit cute. Okay, and then you can bring back in my mat. I'm going to add just a little bit of ink. As you can see, I'm really rough with it, but that's the look I'm going for. So let's curl that up, and then I want to add this just flat to the back of the arch. So I only want to add adhesive where the arch is. So if I just add a little bit in the center here, that should be enough to adhere that down. And it's okay, I can put it on an angle. It doesn't have to be straight. And then I can work out my rough placement of my other bits and pieces. I know that I want to have my butterflies on there somewhere. So roughly like that. So let's stamp our sentiment first. I'm going to bring in, I wish Stampin' Up would bring back the mini trimmer. Me too. Verity, I reckon you have celebration credits. Verity's on my team. So I would pretty positively say you have celebration credits. I'll have to show you later. Okay, so now I've got my Cajun Craze ink pad, and I've got this little stamp that comes in the set that says "For You." It's very cute, little simple sentiment. And then I want to trim this down, which I've already lost the trimmer. Oh, there it is. So when I'm crafting, I sit stuff in piles around me, and very quickly becomes a disaster. So I'm just going to trim this down a little bit. You could leave it as is if you want, if you don't want the effort of trimming it. Okay. Now I want to stick my bow tied with this thread down underneath some of these elements. So I'm going to tie this, and I'm going to do my double bow, my favourite. This is the fork or finger technique. So I'm just going to wrap this around my fingers and then trim my tail and come and tie that off. Okay. Give that a nice tighten so it can go underneath. And then what I can do is actually place this onto my background so then I can stick my elements over the top. So I'm going to grab a glue dot. I'm just going to adhere my bow right into that glue dot, okay? You can trim your tails now, or you can trim them when you're finished. It's up to you. Okay, now let's start sticking our other components. So I want to stick my vellum piece down. Now I think because it's vellum, I'm just going to use some glue dots. You will have sections that aren't seen that you could add glue. So with vellum, glue will show through, but I'm just going to add a couple of glue dots to hold it down because we are sort of making a collage over the top. So let's stick that one down and we can have this coming out underneath somewhere. Okay, then we want to stick our other piece. I think I want it roughly there. And then I'm going to place my butterflies over the top, but I'm going to do those on some dimensionals. So once we've got these base pieces down, I can come in and add in my dimensionals, which are going to go onto my great bow maker. I struggle with bows sometimes, but I cannot for the life of me explain how to make a double bow. Like I watched a video on how to make it on YouTube ages ago. And it wasn't a Stampin' Up video, but I had to watch that video on slow speed so many times to understand what I was doing. Okay, so I've just got my couple of butterflies. I'm deciding where to put them. So I've got my couple of butterflies there. And then I want to stick my sentiment in. So my sentiment, I'm going to pop over the top of one of my butterflies, but I will need to add, I can do it. I will need to add a dimensional on one side because it's going to hang off the butterfly, which is dimensional. So I don't need dimensional on the bit that's going to touch the wing, but I need a dimensional on the bit that's going to come off the side. So I'm just going to stick it on like that. And then to keep it in place, I'm just going to add, trying to use my glue left-handed, but that's interesting. So then I've got my bow like that. Now I'm going to add just a little bit more wink over the top of my butterflies. And then let's do a tiny bit of embellishing. Our hand is a very useful tool, from the transdermal applicator, the bow maker, and how to know if your steak is cooked rare, medium, or well done. I agree. I use so when you test whether your steak, how well it's done, you can use the finger technique and how tough it feels here. So that's how some people will test how well their steak is, or if it's medium rare, well done. So I agree, fingers are very handy. I also do my 9 times table. So I haven't done this in a while, but what is it? It's 2 times 9 is 18. 3 times 9 is 27. 4 times 9 is 36. I think that's right. I don't know what teacher at school told me to do my 9 times table like that. Okay, so let's add some of the butterflies. These are the brushed brass butterflies, and you could get these free during celebration, but they still are a standard product, so you can still buy them. So I'm just going to add a couple. Gosh, I've got no little ones left after this. I've loved the little ones. And then I thought that these embellishments went really well. These are the Earth Tones Shimmer Gems. And I thought that this colour here, although I think it might be either copper clay or pecan pie, it is a really good match with this card. So I'm just going to add in a couple of these. So I've got a small one and a big one. And I'm going to add another small one. I might add that just up here. So that is the outside of my my card. You still show the kids the 9 times table hack. It's brilliant. Makes quick and easy. Okay. I don't think I've ever showed my son. I'll have to show him, but Elijah is very mathematical, but he won't tell you how he came to an answer. So Elijah loves maths. In fact, he uses it as a calm down technique. You can throw times tables at him. He loves it. Okay, so then I'm going to grab this piece of white, which I have cut to, I think I had a piece of Cajun as well, but it's gone AWOL. The white is 10 by 14.3. You could add a layer of Cajun, which I have. I've added it onto a layer of Cajun, but it's not really necessary. But because I showed it in the measurements, I feel like I should really show it. Otherwise, the measurements probably aren't going to make sense, I reckon. Let's see. I did cut these wrong, so I should have a spare piece here. So for the Cajun Craze piece, I need a piece that is cut to 10.2 by 14.5. So that will be my layer for the inside of my card. Now, if you're using Imperial, you want your white piece to be, now I've got to remember this off the top of my head, your white piece should be 4 1/4 by 5 and, let me have a look. Let me just test that because I don't want to tell you the wrong measurement. So yes, if you're using Imperial, you want your Cajun Craze, this piece, to be 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, and your white to be 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, actually, no, we need that. We're going to do a bit more stamping. So we're going to grab our stamp that creates that texture element, and we want our Cajun Craze ink pad. And I'm just going to add a little bit of that randomly stamped. And I'm going to come in with my butterfly again, and I'm just going to stamp my butterfly in some crumb cake. Now, I don't know if I added a sentiment. I did. I added the same sentiment that I used as an element on the front. So I'm just going to stamp that randomly in there. Then let's add a little bit of spritzing with our marker. And then if you want, you can come in with some Cajun Craze ink and add a little bit of blending. I'm just going to add a tiny bit. And then we can add this layer. Just need to remove a little bit of the skin that's formed on that. So this is going to get added to our Cajun Craze. And then we can add a little bit of blue to this piece. Open our card up. And then stick that onto our inside. And that is the double gatefold. Super easy, using just a standard sheet of either letter or A4 cardstock. And it makes a really fun card. It's not a hard, fun fold. It's just a little bit different. So I made those two, and I made the matching envelopes. So I've got these two here. I just did the same sort of stamping that I just did on the inside of the card. So I made a matching envelope for both, and they're ready to go. So really fun, using a colour combo that I don't use very often at all. So very fun. Now, tell me in the comments if you want me to make, how much time have I got? I have a little bit. Tell me if you want me to make a card or two out of the kit. So the kit comes with some pre-designed cards. If you want, I can make one of those or two of those to show you how the Stampin' Up designed ones look. I'm happy to, I'm just cleaning up a little bit of my mess because it's not hard for me to make a mess. It happens pretty quick, but it shows that I'm being creative. Okay, I've got some yes pleases, so we'll have a look. That's our double gatefold, so I'm going to put that to the side. And then I have not even looked at the card designs. Well, I have briefly, but not enough to know what they are. Because I cracked the kit open and then made my gatefold. So I'm truly making them with you. So let's just have a look quickly at this design. So it looks like there's 8 cards. So let's have a look at the blue one. Number 1. So they've got some pretty easy steps. So what we need to do is just gather our supplies first. So I've got my card bases, and these instructions indicate that they're going to be using one of the blue cards. So we'll grab that out. And then we're also going to use one of these envelopes. There's also some stamping on the envelopes. I've never seen that in a kit. Okay, so let's just fold our card base. And then it's telling us that we need I might have to do some different stuff because I can see that uses a butterfly that I've already used. So we'll have to do something a little different. Of course, the die cut I need is on the very last sheet. Okay, so we need that one, and then we need, let's have a look. Where is that one? Must be on the flower sheet. I think I should pop all these out. There's one with little blue flowers. Where are you hiding? Or is it one of the ones I already used? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Oh, no, there it is. See what I mean? All these bits will fall out. So to be honest, I would actually pull all of these bits out, and maybe I'll just do just that because otherwise sifting through these is going to be a disaster. So you could actually grab, I've got this little container here, so I'll grab that and pop these in there as I go. That way I can discard that sheet. If you like the fun fold, I'd love to see what you make. So in the video description, there's a link to my VIP group. Feel free to join and share your projects in there. I'd love to see. Okay, so I'm just taking all these pieces. I love this tag. That's very cool. So we're almost, this is the same when you get those mix and match ephemera. So much easier just to pull them all out, honestly, because they're all going to fall out anyway. So go for your life and pull them all up. That bit's got two pieces. And we've got this one. These are very good value as well. So they're only, I think this one's $41 or something like that. They're very good value. Plus you get a stamp set which you can keep and use again and again. So if you don't know where to purchase these kits, I might be able to show you while I pull this kit together. Maybe we'll see. We'll see again. Open. Okay, let's just see if I can do that. Maybe. So hopefully you can see my screen. This is the Stampin' Up website. So this is what my online shop looks like. And on here, I'll go back to the home page because that's where you start off with. And you can see actually a picture of this kit up the top. So to find all of the creativity kits, you simply need to go to menu here, or you can shortcut it on the front here. It will be under step by step. But up here, you can go to kits. And when you press that, it will open up this page here. And usually the banner up the top will show you the latest kits that have been added. But in here, you can easily find all of the kits. These kits are gorgeous. If it says last chance, it does mean that that kit is being retired. So if you like the kit, and that one's a beautiful kit, you will want to get it as soon as you can because it's not being restocked. But there's lots and lots of gorgeous kits here. So great, and they're great for any beginner or advanced crafter. So that is where you'll find the kits. When you go into the kit, so if you press Quick Shop, you'll find in here a little bit more information about the product. If you hit Show More, it's going to come up and tell you how many cards it makes, what it includes, the included colours. So, and you can see here a close-up picture of the stamp set included. So yeah, really, really handy. And that's just how you get to those in the online store. So yeah, lots to choose from. So now I'll come back to my desk so I can finish putting together this card with you. So what did we work out? I've lost the sheet already. Oh no, here it is. I've got my hexagon, and then I think it looks like this one. And then we want to have a tag, and we're going to need a butterfly, but I'm going to have to use a different butterfly. So let's just see. Or I could bring in my butterfly stamp, couldn't I? But let's just go with that. So I'm going to need one of these labels as well to stamp the For You. Now, all of the stamping, because it comes with that Pecan Pie ink pad, you will only need that colour because they don't bring in anything other than what is in the kit. So let's just ink up our sentiment. And then I'm going to stamp the For You down here. Okay, so the other stamping they have done, by the looks of it, is on the envelope. Now, for some reason, they've done it on the back as well, which is just a little bit weird. I've never really seen, I mean, it's cute, but I would have thought they would have stamped on the front. You could stamp on both. So let's just give our stamps a quick clean, because I did have occasion craze on my stamps, which is not the colour that we're going to be using. We're going to be using Pecan Pie. So we're sticking to all of just the contents of the kit. So they have done a little bit of stamping down here. Of course, you can do what I did and just go totally outside the box and do whatever stamping, whatever creativity you like with the kit. So that's just a little bit of fun they added to the envelope. Simple, simple. Okay, so then let's see what they've done here. This kit includes a little bit of tape. So in this little pack here, they've got the tape. So that's obviously the adhesive they've used. I have some tape here already opened, so I'm going to use that. Now, this indicates that they've used the tape here. So they're using the tape to adhere this little piece here. I'm just going to add a tiny bit to the back. And then they've showed adding a little bit of tape on the back of this piece. Vellum does have a front and back. The front will look a little bit more less translucent. So they've added just a little bit of tape there. So I'm not sure. They're just showing, I think, all the adhesive on one section. So I'm just following along with what's going on with their picture. So got a little bit of tape here. Every part of me wants to add, that's okay, Robin, thanks for joining. Every part of me wants to add blending and dimensionals to everything, but I'm just sticking to what is going on with this kit. Okay, so let's start putting it together. So this is the card base, and they've got their piece here in the center. And then we've got our little tag or our label, whatever you want to call it. And this is sort of towards the left-hand side. Then if you wanted to add some additional adhesive, you could add the glue dots to this vellum piece. They've just tacked enough that it's going to stay stuck down, because you're going to adhere this piece over the top. So this is a bit of a collage, really. And then our butterfly, which the butterfly they've used on their card is the bigger one, but I use that on my alternative. So I realised that I left my camera zoomed out from doing the card base. So the butterfly has a little bit of dimension on it, and we're going to stick that in there. And then they've added their little label on with a bit of dimension. So let's add our dimensionals on there. Now, that is the card finish. They added their sentiment right up there, but I think I'm going to add it. Might even add the butterfly on top. So that is that easy card. Now, I would go and add a bit of spritzing or a bit of sparkle. You can bring in some dots, or you can add it. You can leave it just as the kit says, and that has the matching envelope. So that's how easy it is. Very decoupage in style. That's how easy that card is. Now you could go further and add in some thread, so you could tie a bow with some thread, or you could come in and add some of the butterflies or some of those earth tone shimmer gems. There's so many different styles. You could also add a little bit of stamping to the inside. Very, very easy to put together And so that was the first card. And then you come through and the second is going to show you step by step how to put the second card together. And now I don't know, that's the first and the second. As I said, I haven't really had a look through. It shows you the first and the second card, but then I think what it does is shows you the examples from the other cards. So it doesn't walk through step by step for some of those cards. It just gives you the ideas to put it together yourself. So that's a little bit fun that they've done that, because you can really let your creativity go and have fun with the kit. So you may need 10 kits. Go for it. Get those kits because they are adorable. And you get the stamp set. I love the stamp set. It's got some beautiful stamps, and I love the little butterfly and the texture. It's really cute. So I think that's where I'll leave it. I might put together the rest of my cards, and I might share a picture on my page. Thanks for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed seeing this really quick and easy little gatefold, double gatefold, so you can see a different way of using that fun kit. Now, the PDF for my alternative will be up on my blog now, and I will post that after I have gone live, so you can see some close-up pictures as well as all the measurements that I've used for this project today. Don't forget, I think I shared that without sharing a proper picture. Silly me. Don't forget that I shared the Stampin Rewards program. So if you are wanting to shop with me, make sure you make your online account. That will not be happening until the 20th of March, I believe, with this new Stampin Rewards program. But I'm just sharing it now so that you can get up with making your own account and being ready for that change. So have a lovely rest of your weekend, and I will see you guys all again next week on Saturday this time at 7 p.m. So thanks for watching, guys, and be sure to like and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content. Thanks, guys. Bye.